Good morning, Dubai. Happy start of the week. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show, where we go through the top trending stories that everyone across the country is talking about. Our top story today: amazing work by the UAE president. They're launching an operation to help Gaza via humanitarian efforts.
We'll also be talking about how Dubai will be creating air-conditioned rest stops for delivery drivers.
Kanye West was in town. We're going to talk about what business he might be starting.
We have a load of artist lineups that we'll be telling you about, and after all of that, we'll be sitting down with Sandra, who will share what went down during the Miss Universe pageant in Portugal.
We're so excited to get the lowdown on that. And then later on in the show, we had the one, the only Taylor Lorenz, incredible journalist from the States. She was in town this weekend for Sharjah Book Fair, but she talked to us about her damning comments about Elon Musk. She did not hold back, and also why people now trust creators more than ever before, where they look for their news online.
And you guys, I'm sure you've heard it, seen it all over social media this morning. Chris Brown, Ed Sheeran will be coming to the city. Chris Brown will be coming to Abu Dhabi, not Dubai, right? For the F1 concerts.
He'll do both.
He'll be doing both?
I mean, like,
probably.
usually.
Yeah.
If you've got time.
Yeah.
I remember before Drake came and he was performing at the F1, and then he did a random night in the club right after in Dubai. So maybe he'll do both. So Chris Brown, confirmed.
Yes.
F1, Friday night. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Friday night, November 24th for the Formula One Etihad Airways Abu Dhabi Grand Prix this year.
Huge announcement there. That means big things. That means we're still waiting for the Sunday announcements. I thought that Thursday, Friday, Saturday were already done, but adding Chris Brown into the mix really makes this interesting. And we're still waiting for the big Sunday, which is usually more of like a rock concert, band vibes.
Yeah.
So Chris Brown really makes it interesting. But the big one this morning, the one that people were scouring social media for, because Ed Sheeran said he was coming to the UAE. We knew it was going to be January. Now we have the location and the date.
Yes, we do. So Ed Sheeran is going to be coming and performing on January 19th and 20th. It'll be the largest open-air concert ever to take place in the Emirate. Oh my God, I'm excited for this one.
Yes, and it's at the Seven Stadium, which is such a great event for a live gig. I think... Was it Justin Bieber when I did not live here, but it must have been 13 years ago?
It was.
He did Seven Stadium.
It was massive.
It was huge.
I'll never forget that day because he came 3 hours late on a school night. It was a Sunday night. He came 3 hours late, and my mom was fuming. She's like, this is not the kind of role model I want my kids to watch and get crazy over.
That was really big, because then there was a big conversation about the fact that, he'd done his Asia tour, there was the Europe tour, and like, was he just tired stopping over in Dubai? But then the conversation was like, why is there so much pressure on this young guy to perform so much? I think he's performed there twice.
So possibly, but I just remember going that one time. So possibly he could have performed more than once in Dubai, I'm sure.
But if we were to ask for big venues for Ed Sheeran, I feel like this is the one that everyone... Because it means we might all actually be able to get tickets, which is the big excitement of the day.
Would you go for this one?
Absolutely.
Your favorite song?
Oh, I can never think of songs at the spot. Like, I don't even know words. But he's always on the radio.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song?
All of them. Ed Sheeran is a vibe through and through. He's like a Taylor Swift, like a male Taylor Swift. I think Thinking Out Loud.
And he's just such a nice guy. And
Yeah.
He's been through so much recently. So he's bringing his mathematics tour to the UAE, which is super exciting. Today is the day that they have dropped the news that it's going to be at the Seven Stadium. It's going to be on January 19th
and 20th.
And you'll need it. You'll need it in January. It's a tough month. But if you buy your tickets and if you get tickets, now I would suggest buy them. Don't be the person to leave it to the last minute, which I always do. And then you're looking for them last minute and prices go up. Try and get them on the day. I feel like this is going to be a Coldplay Expo vibe when everyone's going to be at their laptops. Just give a quick, is it just us that's super excited? Are you guys also super excited about Ed Sheeran?
Good morning, all watching on Instagram.
McGuinness, who by the way gave me some shade before because I was pronouncing it wrong. She's like, you're from Ireland. It's because it looked like McGinn's from here, but it's McGuinness. Says it's close to their birthday. Look, if there's any way we could give away tickets to this, we would, because we know there'll be massive hype for it.
January always feels like the longest month of the year. And this will just, break it up. perfectly. An Ed Sheeran concert, bang in the middle of January. That's exactly what you need to just make that month all that more tolerable.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Ed.
Always coming at the right time. Thank you to everyone watching. Have you seen the trend on social media, like looking so beautiful, so elegant, just looking like a wow? Have you not seen that? So popular. Someone just commented with that.
So go on. So it's like
trend.
a TikTok thing where it's a voiceover or something?
It's a voiceover. It's like this one lady. She's selling like these beautiful dresses and saris, and she's like, it's looking so beautiful, so elegant, just looking like a wow.
I love when those types of audios just go the distance.
Yeah.
And they've just come, like one person was like, this is funny.
Yeah.
Like it was, remember we got to interview the guys behind the Chicken Shop song. So the Louis Theroux interview that he did at the chicken shop, that became a song because these guys, they make these like audio mixes from the interview. They were just like, this is funny. They do it a lot, but then it just goes viral, and all of a sudden they're super famous because they just
I don't know how that
something.
happens. Like Saguna, she showed it to me. Our colleague Saguna showed me this trend, I guess a good 2.5, 3 weeks ago. And I'm like, don't show me all this like garbage. Like it's not going to pick up. Nothing's going to come of this. 2 weeks later, it's everywhere.
So elegant.
So beautiful.
So beautiful.
Just looking like a wow.
Just looking like a wow. I like that. 8:37, guys. Good morning to everyone. Hope you have a brilliant start of the week. We're going to jump into our top story today. The UAE president launches Operation to help Gaza. President His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan has ordered the Joint Operations Command of the Ministry of Defense to initiate Gallant Night 3, which is a humanitarian effort to support Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip.
His Highness instructed the Joint Operations Command to work in close collaboration with the Emirates Red Crescent, the Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan Foundation, the Zayed Charitable Humanitarian Foundation, and other UAE institutions to provide humanitarian support to Palestinian people impacted by the current conflict.
His Highness also directed the volunteering opportunities be made available right here in the UAE for doctors who are already registered with the Ministry of Health and Prevention and the Department of Health Abu Dhabi, and also for volunteers who are currently registered with the Emirates Red Crescent and other humanitarian and charitable entities in the UAE.
This follows the UAE strongly condemning the disgraceful and unacceptable statements of Israeli Minister of Heritage Amili on dropping a nuclear bomb on Gaza Strip. Now we know that he has been suspended from the commission, and these statements constitute a violation of international law as well as an incitement to commit grave violations of international humanitarian law such as war crimes, and raise grave concerns of an intent to commit genocide.
The ministry reaffirmed the need for an immediate ceasefire to prevent further loss of life, stressing the importance of protecting civilians according to international law, including international treaties, and the need to ensure that they are not targeted during conflict, which of course is what's not happening now. The UAE is doing everything it can on all fronts, on the humanitarian fronts, and it's really interesting that they've now opened up more volunteer opportunities, so as soon as the time comes, we are prepped and ready. So if you're interested in volunteering your time, get onto Emirates Red Crescent, so when the opportunity arises, you'll be called upon.
It's so concerning that the conversation now is going towards nukes, and the fact that, like this could, even like someone having the thought that this is a potential weapon to be used on Gaza. It's so concerning when we saw the news earlier this weekend. That's
exactly what the UAE has firmly said. You cannot bring that into the conversation. You 100%. Just cannot. And that's what their latest stance was on in the last 6 hours. It can't enter the conversation, and it's a despicable term. It just can't happen.
But it's slightly comforting knowing that this minister has been suspended indefinitely from the party until, I think there's resolution to what's happening right now. But we'll move on to our next story. Dubai to create air-conditioned rest spots for delivery riders. So in a move to support the well-being of delivery riders, Dubai's Roads and Transport Authority, RTA, is launching an initiative to construct 40 air-conditioned rest areas across the city. These rest spots will be thoughtfully equipped with amenities like snack dispensers, water coolers, mobile phone charging stations, and comfortable seating, providing a welcome place for delivery riders to unwind during their shifts. Each rest area is designed to accommodate up to 10 people, catering to the needs of the district it serves. Furthermore, ample parking spaces for motorcycles will be available nearby, ensuring the convenience of riders.
2 rest areas have already been completed in Barsha, and the RTA has outlined plans for the remaining rest areas, which will be constructed in 3 phases. These additional areas are set to pop up in key locations: Arabian Ranches, International City, Business Bay, Al Quoz, Al Karama, Al Satwa, Al Jadaf, and Murdif. The RTA identified these specific areas based on a comprehensive analysis of operational data and demand.
So one name that we are no stranger to, Matar Al-Tayyar, Director General and Chairman of the Board of Executive Directors of RTA, stated all rest areas are expected to be operational by July 2024. He emphasized that the initiative aims to provide a proper working environment for delivery riders, as the delivery business has been substantial growth in the recent years.
Can I just say that, like, the obvious one that we would think is like, oh, people need air conditioning because it gets hot here during the summer. But the reality is, this story has highlighted the fact that I've never really thought about what is proper working conditions for drivers, in that they don't have a rest area. They don't have a place to be like, okay, I'm going to take my hour lunch here. And that's why you always find, like, different areas, there'll be a couple of cars parked up, and whether it's cars or bikes, and they're taking their lunch. We've never really thought about, like, where are the, like, does for example, the Deliveroos and the Talabats have, like, a big, an area for lunch? And if that's the case, it's not really convenient if you're working on the other side of town.
Very true.
So for the RTA to set this up, and it's not just AC, it's mobile charging, comfortable rest areas, makes a lot of sense. And it's something I hadn't really thought about, which now I feel pretty bad about, but it's amazing that the RTA is already setting this up and putting that infrastructure in place for a delivery economy, which is what we have.
100%, that's so true. You don't think of these things until these initiatives are announced and these projects are announced. And I think other countries can definitely follow suit, because although the weather conditions in the UAE are not so favorable, I think that's across the world, you know, like at one place it rains too much, one place it's too cold, it's too smoggy, there's a lot of pollution. So I think nowhere are the weather conditions like 100% favorable to delivery riders.
And delivery riders, we're so aware that there's different rights for riders in different countries, and maybe if they're not permanent workers, they don't have the same rights as full-time workers.
Yeah.
And great if there is, a place for you to have breakfast, lunch, leave your bag at the beginning of the day like you would in any normal workplace. But then, as we're just thinking, that it's not really applicable if you work all across the city. So in Dubai, it's not the delivery companies who are putting this infrastructure in place. It's the RTA, it's the government putting this process in place, which is just amazing. And I'm not really sure if other cities do it, but I know for a fact it doesn't happen in Ireland, but we're not as much of a delivery economy. But it is really amazing to see that they're making that happen.
For sure. And in 2022, the number of companies offering motorcycle delivery services in Dubai surged up to 2,891, marking an impressive 40% increase compared to the previous year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 40%, and that's the thing, is that when, it's great if you have all the infrastructure in place in advance. However, to see that massive jump, like we've started ordering 40% more in 1 year, like you see the riders on the road. I don't know about you, but when I first moved here, I wasn't ordering as much online as I do now. I'm an absolute devil for it. I need like moisturizer, so I'll just get someone to bring it to me. Like that's
I know, it's really like become so like at your, just at your fingertips. You don't need to step out of your house for anything, be it like for shopping, be it for grocery shopping, anything retail, for food, like it's just on your phone. And we've become so, I think, spoiled in that sense. Yeah.
There's no other word for it. We're spoiled.
Yeah.
But it could be anything. Like you put in the most random thing that you might need into Insta-shop, and you'll find a store that has it. Great, I don't need to go to the hardware store to get
a hammer,
the drain cleaner, the hammer, the measuring tape. It's like it's you just get it delivered to your door. A hook I needed
I
a
blame
hook.
Insta-shop for this. From pharmacy, grocery, like you said, like the most randomest of all things.
Flowers, if you're going to someone's house and you need to bring a gift, you just go onto Insta-shop 2 hours in advance. I was talking to my brother last night about Christmas, and he said he got a Christmas dinner in 40 minutes. Usually you would like plan your brunch, or you'd, plan who's going to cook dinner. And he was like, it was Christmas Day, and I just went on to Insta-shop and he got a proper Christmas dinner.
Full-blown Christmas dinner.
Not the full turkey, but the full plate of like anything, like a perfect Christmas dinner. which is
There
just
you
really
go.
unheard of when you think about the planning and preparation that traditionally one might put into that in your household.
Yeah, it's just changing everything. Changing everything. Like, forget sitting together and making dinner. It's just like on your phone now, time, convenience. You can worry about other things.
Due to our reliance on deliveries, the city is putting an incredible infrastructure in place for the riders at the heart of this beating city. Let's move in to someone who looks like they love the city as much as we do. Kanye West was in town. This is super cool. So he was in Saudi, and then we saw a photo shared by the Giving Movement CEO. So he was pictured with, this is Dominic Noel Barnes, and they're hinting at a potential collaboration. So the CEO of the Giving Movement photoed with Kanye West, and the caption just says, "All business, no cap," which we think hinting at what business it could be. We could guess.
I can't guess. What business? A concert.
Well, it's CEO of the Giving Movement.
Okay. So he's going to do a collaboration with the Giving Movement.
That's what we're thinking.
Yes.
Or maybe they'll
Yes,
start something
yes.
together.
The math is mathing right now. Yeah. I see it.
Girl math. Something's going on.
Okay, so Kanye kicked off his Middle East trip with a visit to Saudi last week, where he was spotted at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Riyadh. You know what I was thinking? What do they call Kanye West fans? Yeezys? No, that's the shoe.
Do they call them Yeezys?
What do they call the Kanye West fans?
Alibaba's off today. Ali K, can you help us out?
What do they call Kanye West fans?
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, but that's his name.
Let me see. Kanye West fans name.
Kanye and Adidas, which
Yeah.
was probably the most lucrative partnership in shoe history. It was a golden egg for Adidas because they reaped in billions of profits. Then they had to step aside for the partnership because of Kanye's controversial comments.
Yes.
So Kanye's a businessman. He's super creative. He's always probably on the lookout for the next big thing. He was in Saudi for the Tyson Fury fight, along with Ronaldo, Eminem. So is he looking for the next big thing? Could a collaboration, like the Giving Movement is a homegrown company, by the way.
That
They
is
have
massive
done
for them.
incredible. It's not just something that we buy because it's
Sustainable.
made here.
And perfect.
It's sustainable. You're giving back, and it's also a cool label and brand
Yeah.
that I think people like. Could it go global? Imagine if Kanye West decided to collaborate with that. That would be epic.
I think their brand is just, I think, genius in so many ways. They're such simple, staple outfits with their branding, and it's, I don't know, like it's really, they're killing the game right now. And so many copycats we're seeing in the market. And this collaboration could work wonders for them. And yeah, I know Kanye has his phases of like being the most loved, being the most hated, reviving himself. Like Kanye has like a spectrum of phases that he goes through.
Kanye has a spectrum. That is a fair analysis.
Yeah.
But at the heart of it, he is an entrepreneur, talented
Artist.
He's an artist.
He's an artist.
So do we think he's collaborating for the Giving Movement, or do you think that they're going to come up with something
totally different.
totally different?
Totally new.
Like a new Yeezy. That's because obviously Adidas has their own thing now.
Yeah, I mean, like whatever it. You think kicks with the Giving Movement? No, the Giving Movements are not into shoes.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh.
Not yet. If we name them, can we have a pair? Kicking it.
Exclusively Kanye collab kicks with the Giving Movement. I think that would
K-Kicks.
K-Kicks. The Giving Kicks. No, the Giving Yeezys.
Giving, Kanye gives. He would love that.
Kanye
that would
gives.
sit under the ego umbrella, I would say.
Kanye
Okay,
gives.
8:50. We'll stop it right there. If you have a great name, drop it down. And who knows, the Giving Movement might see it and you could get some of those royalties. Next up, we have Sandra Gonzalez. She's going to share what went down during Miss Universe Portugal. She's going to be with us after this very short break. And then the one and only Taylor Lorenz. Do stay tuned. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Next up, a shining star who's not just about beauty pageants, but also about making the world a brighter place. A Dubai resident who dazzled representing at the Miss Universe stage in Portugal. Beauty, brains, and a heart of gold. Welcome to the show, Sandra Gonçalves. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so honored to be here, and I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Your energy is amazing. Early in the morning, this is exactly what you need in the studio. Do you have a stylist? Because you're just so perfectly like your outfit on point.
Thank you so much. Actually, I don't have a stylist. My mom is kind of my stylist. We always put outfits together, me and her.
Really?
I have a very close relationship with my mom, and she loves fashion, so she's always dressing me up like a little Barbie, and we put so many outfits together, and that's honestly how I do it.
That's so cute.
So cute.
Do you think that that's why you got into fashion from a young age? Do you want to tell us about that journey?
So I got into fashion when I was actually still a child. I started modeling many years ago, and I got into fashion because I've always been a creative-minded person, and I always wanted to push my creativity, and I always wanted to kind of embrace that. So I definitely got into modeling because of that. And modeling has taught me so many lessons in life. It has taught me how to be independent, how to really take care of myself, as I said before, embracing my creativity. So it is something that I got into from a young age. And my mom did honestly also inspire that because, as you said, she is quite the fashionista. So
I want to see a pic of your mom.
I don't have any, but I'll show you after the show. So I got into, also because of my mom, I would say,
Can you remember like the first job that you had? Was it like a catwalk? Was it an ad?
The first job that I really remember was actually... It was for a magazine. I was shooting for Tiffany & Co., I believe. Yes. And that was
for your first gig?
Yes. That was one of my, if not my first ever job. And I remember being so excited in that shoot. I was around 12 or 13 years old. I remember just dragging my mom there, being like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm doing this. And she was so excited for me as well. And it was amazing. I have amazing memories with modeling, honestly.
Wow.
Tell us about Miss Universe Portugal. How was that like, the behind the scenes?
So I started competing 5 years ago. I started my training actually in 2018. I did my first ever pageant in 2019. So it's been quite a journey. And definitely when you start competing for a pageant, there's many things you have to look into. You know, of course, not just a physical appearance. You have to set your mind to it. You really have to get involved with everything that goes on behind it as well. You need to be extremely independent, extremely positive. And there's obviously ups and downs that happen with pageantry, but you always have to stay true to yourself and to embrace your trueness. And of course, when I started competing, I had my trainers. I had runway trainers, vocal trainers. I was doing a lot of sports, you know, the styling, and there is really a lot that goes into it.
How does a vocal training class go? Like, what is that?
So,
like how you see in High School Musical?
Yes, I love High School Musical. It's like one of my favorite movies when I was a child. So when it comes down to a vocal trainer, it's about, for example, the interview portions of pageantry, because there is an interview portion. So they really break it down how to answer Q&As. They really break it down how to word certain topics. And that's how it works,
But how is it like behind the scenes, especially with, the rest of the contestants? Because from some participants you hear it's like so much competition and rivalry. And then from others you hear the sisterhood is amazing backstage. How was it for you?
So for me personally, first of all, I always uplift other women. I think it's super important, as you said, to have a sisterhood, because at the end of the day, there is only one crown to be won. But the memories that you make will, of course, last forever. So I definitely am the type of person that tries to uplift other people. I don't really like to focus on other contestants per se, because I feel like when you are competing, you have to be competing with yourself as well. And that should be your main focus. Nobody else should be your main focus. But of course, over the course of the past 5 years, I have experienced, not the nicest girls sometimes. I've definitely experienced a a lot of people talking behind my back. A lot of girls would say that I don't deserve to win. It would be a very unfair win, which is something I never understood. Why would you say it would be a very unfair win and I don't deserve to win? Because I didn't even win at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So there definitely was a lot of comments made about me here and there that I didn't really appreciate, because when you are doing a competition, you are meant to be with each other. You are meant to embrace each other. You are meant to push each other forward. And I definitely have not always felt that, which is also very sad, because when you are competing, keep in mind you're up at 5 in the morning and you're going to sleep at 12, 1 in the morning. You know, you have rehearsals, you have all these activities you do during the day. So you constantly want to be around positive energy only. And sometimes I definitely felt that positive energy from other contestants wasn't there. And
how does it get back to you? Like, is it like WhatsApp groups, you know, or like how does it come out?
Okay, so
and are they trying to? Do you think that there's like an intent to like mentally break you down? Because as you said, it's a mentally challenging process.
Yes.
Do you think they want you to hear that they're saying these negative things?
So a lot of it was done in front of my face. You know, I would see the way they would look at me. I would hear the comments. And sometimes I had really good friends, because I didn't just do one competition. I've done quite a few. And sometimes some of the girls I befriended in the competitions would tell me, oh, you know, this person said that and this person said this. And again, you can't always believe what, other people say. But in those specific situations, I definitely felt those were true, because I heard the comments myself. I saw the way the other woman would look at me, and it is a very sad situation, you know, because at the end of the day, this was my biggest dream since I was a little girl. I grew up watching Miss Universe. So it was definitely a little disheartening to see a bunch of other girls say stuff about you. And
yeah, it's nasty, you know, like the world is nasty, like no matter what department you get into or what lifestyle you choose. But if there is someone going to a pageant right now experiencing the exact same things that you are, what would your advice be to them and to the girls making those kind of comments?
So my advice to whoever is competing, whether it's nationally or internationally, is stay true to yourself. And at the end of the day, people are always going to talk. You cannot escape that. You cannot get away from it. As you said, whatever industry you're in, wherever you're going to go, you're always going to have people making comments, people trying to break you down. But if you let those comments affect you, then you're failing yourself. And you don't want to fail yourself at the end of the day. You want to push forward. You are here for a reason. Stick to that and just stay true to yourself. I know I say this a lot, to stay true to yourself, but I truly, truly mean it. I truly believe in it, because at the end of the day, you only do have yourself. And you want to come out of any experience in life with lessons. You want to embrace yourself. You want to embrace what you want to do. So that is my biggest advice to whoever would compete.
Interesting. You said people come there for a reason. So like, what was your motivation to keep on going? And for other people, like, what actually pushes people to take part and to keep going?
So for me personally, of course, I don't want to speak for anyone else, because each woman is there, you know, for her own reasons, for her own stories. Some women want to have self-development. Some women want to try something new. Some women want to work more with charities, more with their social causes. So why I got into it is because actually in 2019, I was on the judging panel for the Special Olympics there in Abu Dhabi. And I've always grown up working with charities. I've always grown up being so involved with social causes and really being there in Special Olympics and working with people of determination. It inspired me to want to bring them more, to have their voices heard onto a bigger platform, because I don't see a lot of people of determination being, you know, seen much in society. So I wanted to embrace them more, and I really wanted to push their stories and break those boundaries and push for inclusion. So that is actually why I got into it and what kept me going. I have such a passion for working with charities. I think it's so important to always give back. Those are the morals I've been brought up with, and that is what I want to inspire to other women.
That's amazing.
That's incredible. And what projects exactly do you have ongoing right now with these organizations?
So I just did get back to Dubai. I was in Portugal for 2 months for the last competition I did. So before I got back, I did a project with the Special Olympics Portugal. We did a swimming kind of competition, fun activity with the athletes. Ongoing right now, I actually do want to start my own personal project as well. That is something that's in the making and hopefully something that will happen very soon. But as of now, being back, I have definitely been doing a lot of fashion work. My mom also does own a gymnastics center for children, which is so incredible. I love working with children. So I've also been focusing a little bit on that. And I've also just graduated with a Bachelor of the Arts honors in English literature. So I kind of want to do a little bit more with my studies, hopefully get a master's. So those have been my set goals right now.
And so you've just come back from Miss Universe, which I can imagine was just kind of non-stop.
Miss Universe Portugal.
Miss Universe Portugal, which is non-stop for 2 months. So you said they're your goals for now, but do you have more aspirations with Miss Universe?
So actually, I was in Portugal for 2 months, but the actual competition itself was 3 days. It always changes because it comes down to the national organizations and the way they do it. So for me this year, it was 3 days. Before in the past, one competition was 2 weeks, another one was 10 days. So it does really depend. So of course, for now, I definitely want to take a break. I definitely want to do more projects for myself and become the best version of myself there is. I am still unsure if I will ever compete again because after 5 years of constantly getting no's, it just kind of sometimes makes you feel a certain way, but I never want to say never. You have no idea, what's going to happen in this life. So I definitely am taking a break for now, going to focus more on my social projects, more on myself. As I said, become the best version of myself, and we will see where life takes me.
Do you feel like after 5 years of competing, and like you said, like it's hard on you, right, just to keep hearing that no, do you feel like pageants, for a lot of people competing, become a form of validation, and extremely so that they only rely on what the results are to kind of show them their worth?
That is actually a very interesting question, and I'm very happy you brought that up because this is something that worries me when it comes to seeing other pageant contestants. Because, of course, even though I've had all those no's in my life, they have never actually affected my mental health. But those no's can definitely affect someone else's, and I don't want any other woman to feel like she is not enough. You always should be enough because you are enough. So for me, it has never broken me down as a person because I know my self-worth. I know what I bring to the table. I know I can be seen, heard, and valued. But I am extremely worried for other women. But at the end of the day, the results are never down to the contestants. So don't take the results to your heart. If it's something you want, keep on going, even though I'm taking a break. If another woman wants that yes, and she wants to be crowned, just keep on going because one day you will get that yes. So that is just something I want to say to other women competing.
Clearly, you're beauty with brains. So
Thank
I want to
you so
ask, how
much.
important is it to like constantly develop yourself? Because I'm sure you hear it a lot, right? Like, oh, she looks beautiful, but you do so many projects, you work on so many things, pursuing your degree and then your master's, but people don't know that when they first see you, right? Like they usually view pageant contestants like, it's just all looks.
Yeah.
So do you get that a lot?
Personally,
you have to deal with it a lot.
Personally, I have never gotten it so much, but I definitely know what you mean because it does happen a lot in pageantry. I think people just need to understand more that a pageant, first of all, you're not just walking a runway, and there's nothing wrong with just walking a runway. I just walk runways, it's part of my job. But when it comes to pageants, you also have to be a spokesperson. You have to be knowledgeable about the world. These factors are so important. So when I was competing, I've always tried to break that stigma of just beauty with no brains, because to me, it doesn't exist. Beauty with no brains is not a phrase that exists to me. It should never be used against anyone.
Yeah, interesting.
100%.
Totally agree with you on that. We wish you the best of luck in everything coming up.
Thank you so much.
But before you leave us, we want to play a quick game because you are truly a fashionista as well. So we want to know what is hot or not with you. So we'll say a phrase. If it's hot, you tell us why. And if it's not, you press the buzzer.
Okay, so if it's not, I press the buzzer. If it's hot, I tell you why.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. So the first one, getting opinions from Kanye West.
Oh no!
Is it not working?
Oh no, it is. Go again.
That was anticlimactic.
We don't like opinions of Kanye.
Actually, I do think Kanye is a very funny person and stuff, but he has become quite opinionated recently.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want those opinions, you know what I
I'm
mean?
Team Kim in that sense.
Yeah, massively. Chris Brown performing at the F1 just been announced today.
That's pretty hot. That's cool. That's cool. I'm actually a fan of his music, just of his music. So,
Okay, Sunday
Yeah,
roasts.
I don't know what Sunday roasts are.
I wondered. It's a roast dinner that you have on a Sunday.
Oh, I love food, so I'm not clicking that. Yeah, I love food, so I would have
Food,
that.
Yes, yes.
Nights in.
Yes.
Okay.
Love it.
The next question. Casey's a pro. I'm a no. But give me your thoughts. Birkenstocks.
I will just tap that. I'm 50-50.
No, just tap it.
I'm 50-50. They're super comfortable,
Yeah.
but they're not my style. I wouldn't wear them.
They don't look like they're your
Yeah,
style.
they are super comfortable shoes. So that's why I'm like, 50-50, but I wouldn't wear them.
Are you wearing them right now?
These are like fake Birkenstocks. I got them on sale.
But they do look comfy, huh? They look pretty comfy.
I think my time has come though. I've been wearing them non-stop for 4 months and the time has come to change my shoes. Pajama dressing.
For what occasion?
For like, to the mall.
No?
No.
No to pajama dressing. We love pajama dressing.
Maybe for coffee. You see, these questions are a bit hard because I'm feeling 50-50 on all of them because there's like a light to them, but the other part is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's definitely a 50-50 for me. Like pajama dressing for coffee would be amazing, but I just personally wouldn't wear it to the mall. However, no judgment, to each their own. You want to be comfy, girl, be comfy. I'm a little extra, it's fine.
But not your style. You're not wearing
You
pajamas to the
would
mall.
see Sandra in the mall looking like this, but you would see us in PJs and our Crocs.
I'm not wearing PJs to the mall.
I am.
Like in Ireland, like people wear like their actual pajamas
It is quite a European style, though. When I was
to
in
the
Portugal,
supermarket.
It's a vibe.
Yeah, you
to the
see everyone.
supermarket.
Yeah, of course, to like the grocery store, I would go in pajamas. That's why, again, 50-50.
I mean, going down to the Bacala in your PJs, no one's going to see. Wear a hat and some sunnies. Absolutely fine. Yeah, that's kind of fine.
Exactly. I love that.
Yeah, I would even go to the cinemas in my PJs, but unless it's a date, then of course not.
To the cinemas and PJs sounds like a vibe, though.
it's a
I
date.
would love that.
And like a cozy, like little.
Yes. I always bring like a little
Shawl.
blanket and I'm just there, like, in my moment,
Dubai
watching a
kids.
movie. I love it. Yes.
Okay, speaking of Crocs, yay or nay on that one?
Whoa, that was harsh.
Whoa! Why?
If you are a child, it is adorable with the little toys and the Crocs, but I am just not a Croc fan. I am so sorry. It's my personal opinion. I don't like Crocs. I've never understood Crocs for
personal
adults.
opinion.
I would not wear Crocs, you guys.
Have you seen that meme? It's just my opinion.
I think so. Yeah, I love memes. I'm always like on TikTok or like on Instagram, like scrolling through like all these like meme videos. But Crocs are just a no for me.
Not
for
even with the
Sandra.
nice, the nice
no
little
Crocs.
adornments. People are adding badges and things.
See, that's why I said for children, because for example, when I work
No
at
adults are
my
doing it.
mom's gym, the kids wear Crocs and it's so cute. You know, they have like the little toys and stuff in the shoes. But when an adult shows up with Crocs, again, to each their own, just not my thing.
I'm gonna throw mine out.
Handbags, the latest trend, handbags with keychains.
That's cute.
A lot of people are doing that right now.
That's quite, that you know, because for example, if you wear cute jewelry that matches the keychains, it could definitely be stylish.
People are styling up their Birkins with like matching keychains.
I guess it depends on the keychain.
It's like this thing.
It totally depends.
your
If you
handbag
get,
now is accessorized.
I love
Yeah.
London keychain. That's not gonna work.
See,
No,
I
it's
agree
cool.
with her. It depends because for me, for example, I like the classic simple style. So personally, I wouldn't wear it. I feel like I keep saying I wouldn't wear it. But
I would
definitely
judge, but I wouldn't wear it. No.
Not for me. You were fine.
I definitely feel like, again, I prefer classic styles, but if you, for example, have some earrings that match, a cute little keychain or something, it could work, It could work.
Okay, that's the fashion lowdown.
We have time for two more, super quick.
Okay, let's go for quiet luxury.
What do you mean by quiet luxury?
Like like old money fashion, stealth wealth.
Like
Being rich but not showing it.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's so classic. It's so elegant. I love the elegant classic look.
Like Sophia Richie vibes.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Oh, I love her style. Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay,
I feel like
one
that's
more,
no
which I
buzzer.
think Sophia Richie is not wearing PVC shoes, so like transparent shoes. Like a transparent heel, a transparent front.
Like the Kanye style.
Yes.
If she hits the buzzer, I won't have shoes left.
They are stylish. They are quite stylish. Again,
Don't press it.
she wants me to press it.
Don't press it. I won't have any shoes left.
They're
PVC
stylish.
shoes.
But it depends because if you want to
A
go for
block
if you want to go for
heel.
like an edgy streets look, it definitely works. It doesn't fall under the elegant look, so as I
Not
keep
for
saying, I
you.
wouldn't wear it.
Not your style.
style.
But I think it could work. Depending how you pair them.
Okay, we're not pressing the
could
buzzer on
work.
that one.
Yes.
Simran's wardrobe is fully intact at the end of this
Just
show.
check the buzzer, like, is she gonna press it?
Just throw the Crocs, if you throw the Birkenstocks, it's like we have nothing left. We have nothing
It was
left.
so amazing to meet you. We
Thank
really
you guys
appreciate
so
your
much
time.
for having me. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. That is all we have time
Thank
for the Lovin Dubai
you.
show. Next up, we sat down with the one, the only Taylor Lorenz, who gave us her views on Elon Musk and why people are trusting content creators now more than ever. Do stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Taylor Lorenz is a journalist who has documented internet culture for the New York Times, the Washington Post, and Business Insider, to name just a few. She's in town to promote her new book, Extremely Online, The Untold Story of Fame, Influence, and Power on the Internet, at the Sharjah Book Fair. But we have her here today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your time.
Welcome. So you're in Dubai. Is it your first time here?
It is my first time here. I love it so far. Yeah.
And you said you're on so you're here to promote your book, but you're on a solo trip, essentially.
Yes, I came over by myself. But of course, I'm surrounded by all the great authors at the book fair too. But yeah, I've just been exploring Dubai so far. It's been really fun.
So you just came off your flight last night, so we appreciate you're new to the city. But we'd like to talk about this trend of influencers flocking to Dubai. Have you noticed it? Because they're calling Dubai the new LA for influencers.
Oh yeah, it's a real thing. I was just mentioning to a colleague actually that Kabi Lame, the biggest TikToker, he is based here, and I think when he came here, it attracted, and also just during the pandemic, there's just so many more content creators, TikTokers, YouTubers. I think the city lends itself to that. It has great weather, pretty year round. I mean, it's hot, but I think you can do a lot, get a lot of space. I don't know, it's very popular. There's beaches.
Is this something that you'd like to report on?
Yeah, definitely. I know. I'd like to just put me up here for a month and I'll hang out with the YouTubers.
Are you listening, guys? Taylor wants to stay.
I've seen them do a lot of, I think there's also just a lot of like activities, like fun things to vlog, like the nightlife, the dining, and then also I've seen a bunch of people create content on the desert dunes or camel rides. Like it's a real kind of aspirational lifestyle.
Every little spot is an Instagrammable moment.
100%. As soon as you feel like something, it's like you've covered everything, something else pops up.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, like, as a journalist, what have you seen change in this media landscape, or especially for journalism? Because now citizen journalism is increasing on the rise. Is there a need for like actually getting a degree and studying it like thoroughly now, or can anyone be a journalist?
I think anyone can be a journalist. I'm a self-taught journalist. I never studied journalism. I got popular through blogging. I'm a big advocate for citizen journalism because I think we don't have enough journalists around the world. And a lot of times nobody knows their region or city or whatever better than the people within it. I think certainly there are concerns about misinformation or maybe people that aren't trained, like not knowing exactly what they're doing, but it's still valuable. And I think that the upsides outweigh the downsides.
But it's so interesting because particularly now, trust in traditional media is declining.
Yeah.
So do you think there's a need for better regulation on citizen journalists by the platforms?
Yeah, I don't want to see the platforms regulate it. It makes me a little nervous when they start to regulate speech in any way, just as a journalist. But I do think that we could do a lot more to educate them. I think actually, the young journalists that I've talked to, especially like the TikTokers, content creators, a lot of times they want to do a good job or they just don't know. And so I think if we had more training programs, workshops, things like that.
Don't you think that's, I mean, personally, I would think it's dangerous, even going into that whole realm of relying on citizen journalists for information, relying on content creators for information. Although, like, majority of them do a great job, there is, like, a whole bunch that would just try to spread their agenda, and knowing, like, the tools to do it, they would utilize it to their advantage.
Yeah.
Don't you think, like...
100%. I don't think you should get all of your news from YouTubers, but I also don't think you should get it all from traditional media. As we've seen, traditional media also is not always perfect. I say that as someone that's worked in traditional media for a long time. They also make mistakes. They also promote certain interests. And so I think it's just really important to have a diverse news diet and have a lot of media literacy and say, look, the Washington Post is great. Maybe Taylor Lorenz's articles I trust, but, I have some skepticism and I think the on-the-ground reporting specifically from different regions that citizen journalists do, often in times of conflict, is very valuable because they're often able to go places sort of technical, like old school journalists can't access.
So what exactly, as an insider, you have the inside information, what do you think it is about these channels and platforms that make them biased? I mean, we know it, but I'm talking about like the general public. They're like, why is this news outlet so biased? So is it like the sponsors? What makes it?
It's not that deep. I think a lot of people think that bias in media happens because like, I see these charts of like so-and-so advertised with so-and-so. Honestly, so much of media is determined by editors, by the bosses, and by corporate interests. And corporate interests, not necessarily, some advertiser, but rather every media company is a business. That's not true. Not every media company is a business, but most of them are run like a business. And so they do have page views to, page view goals or subscription goals, or they are serving a specific audience. That's the thing with a lot of these traditional media companies. They're serving an old school, older, usually often, people with specific ideologies, right? That's their audience that they want to serve. So they're not going to necessarily veer from, their specific outlook, right? And that's okay. You can consume media like that and understand, okay, this is their point of view. They're still providing some valuable information, right?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of media company bias, what about platform bias? Because in case you guys didn't know, Taylor actually got kicked off Twitter by Elon Musk. Like, I know it was a little while ago, but like, yeah, flex, absolutely. Like, what is your take on that now?
Yeah, I mean, no one is more anti-journalism than Elon Musk. This man has banned so many journalists. I reached out to him for comment on a story where I revealed actually he had lied about an interaction, and he kicked me off the platform. Oh. He's kicked several journalists that have reported on him off the platform. I think it's really worrying because Twitter was such an amazing tool for getting a window into the world. I mean, yes, we also have TikTok and stuff and YouTube, but I think Twitter was the only primary text-based social media platform. Mm-hmm. And it allowed for anonymity in a way. I think it was really good. I mean, it had a lot of flaws. I love
the way you're talking about it in the past tense.
I know. Well, it's because it's just not relevant anymore.
It's not even Twitter.
It's X, and it's so hard to follow news and information on there. Everyone is like blue check verified, is pushing crypto scams.
So what are your thoughts on the specific changes that he's made since he took over?
I think they're just hostile to users. I mean, I think that this is the classic, and I write about this in my book. This is the classic Silicon Valley mindset where they have this disrespect for their users, where it's like, I know what content, I know who I want to make popular, and I'm going to force feed it down your throat. So you log on to Twitter now and you're just force fed all of this kind of garbage content that you're like, I don't want to read this. And so I think, again, that's the CEO thinking he knows better than the users, when actually something like TikTok succeeds because it gives you exactly what you want. It doesn't matter, what TikTok leadership wants to promote. They're going to algorithmically give you exactly what you want to watch.
That's so funny because Elon Musk came into the platform, came into the whole, ownership of it, saying that I want freedom of speech, took away Trump's ban, took away all these bans, gave them Twitter back. and now journalists, he's taking it away from journalists.
He's always been anti-free speech. That's always been such a lie. And, you know, he's sued people out of Tesla. He's threatened defamation lawsuits against everyone. So he's so full of it. Yeah. Sorry to the Elon fans.
He's always watching the show, so he's going to be so angry. If you had your own social media platform, like, what would you change? What would you do if the Taylor Lorenz social media platform for the world, what would it look like?
Okay, first I'd ban Elon. Just kidding. I don't know.
Sweet revenge.
Yeah. Sorry, mister. I mean, as a writer, I would love to see more written content. I think that we're all moving to short form video now, so there's so much video-based content, but I think there is a room for writing. There's a type of expression you can do with written content that you just can't. So I would try to make a written-based, kind of like a Twitter. Honestly, I'm a Tumblr girl. I miss Tumblr, so maybe something like Tumblr or Twitter.
Whoa, it's been a while.
I know, TBT, right? Does anyone remember? It was great. So,
Tumblr,
yeah.
and you would make your own pages, go in, find the,
I don't think I even had an account. I had Bebo.
Oh, yeah.
Back in those days.
Bebo, MySpace.
MySpace. The best part of MySpace was that you could customize everything. That was so, that you would be able to do that on my social media, too. Everyone could make whatever backgrounds, whatever fonts you want.
That had a bit of Bebo in it too. You could do whatever color you
So
wanted.
you're like a Kylie Jenner in your youth.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay, so I want to ask, just going back to journalism, like Dubai, right? Like this region, to be specific, has a lot of controlled media, a lot of gatekept. So do you feel like that in terms of like the information that goes out to the public is better when the government controls it, or is it better like, because in other places you have everything going out to the public, you know, like literally anything and everything, and it can cause fear mongering, it can cause so many different kind of emotions and stir it up. But in places like this, it's a bit more controlled as to like, see the positive side, don't worry about this, you know, the country has that handled in different ways. What do you think about it?
I mean, the thing is, so I can speak from an American perspective. I don't trust the American government to tell me the truth on anything. You know, I think I have a lot of healthy skepticism. I think if the government that you're relying on to, you know, sort of advocate and determine what's true or what you're able to speak is a responsible government, then you don't really have a big problem. But a lot of governments are not responsible, and they use their position of power to kind of hide things or cover things up, and that's negative. And ultimately, it's going to fail because people talk, and people use the internet to talk, and so you can only keep things kind of put a lid on things for so long. So, you know, that's kind of my feeling on that. Yeah.
I'd love to get your thoughts very quickly. Obviously, you're here to promote your book and some of the amazing reporting you've done over time. Is there any particular story that you'd like to share with your audience that you kind of uncovered, that you stumbled upon, maybe a subculture, a trend that you thought that completely surprised you?
Okay, you know what I'm really into lately is live streaming, like these weird TikTok lives that people do.
This will be on TikTok Live, let me tell you.
Oh my gosh, there's this one of like wood soup. It's this woman that just has this giant bowl of like wooden balls, and she like stirs them every night for hours, and thousands of people watch. It's just like bizarre. And I have to say, the things that I've discovered on TikTok Live that I'm like, how did you come up with this in your mind, you know?
Wooden balls?
Yeah, no, it's a giant bowl. It's a giant bowl. I don't know how to describe this. It's a giant bowl, but it's full of wooden balls in like water, and she stirs it.
Satisfaction. What's she wearing? Just I need a visual.
You don't
of
even
this.
see her. You just see the hand like stirring it. It's just so weird because every time I see this live stream, there's thousands of people watching, and people are so invested in it.
And just the stirring of the balls. Is there conversation? Is there a story time?
Sometimes there's people who have conversations within it.
Oh.
What I think, so like the bigger trend in media that I think we're seeing is these like simultaneous experiences, whether it's things like Be Real, where everybody kind of posts at the same time, or like live streams where we're all kind of in something together. I think people want that kind of connection, and I don't know, I just see it increasingly through these strange live streams.
People have the time to just sit there watching balls being stirred in a massive pot. And that's interesting.
Yeah.
Like you would just not think something like that would catch on, you know?
There's so many people that watch this, and I don't even know how to predict it because it's just randomly on my For You page sometimes. I don't think she has like a schedule. Yeah.
Do you believe like there is someone out there to consume any and every, like
yes.
there's always an audience for any content?
Well, not any content, because there's some boring content out there that I don't think anyone wants to watch. But I do think that, like, I mean, I think we're living this age of like hyper niche media where you can serve every single small market, you know, and make a living doing so sometimes, you know. But yeah, I do think that because the internet is so global, you know, you can reach like people with very specific demographics.
Everyone has access right now, and access more so than ever before, because we don't want to take our eyes off our phones. We're extremely online, as you say. Why do you think we're so obsessed with the internet, and do you think it's a good thing?
I think the good comes with the bad. I think we're also obsessed with the internet because we all want connection, and I talk about this in my book. I think that the fundamental sort of the fundamental offering, I guess, or like the goal of the internet is to connect people at scale. And everybody in this world, especially as we're more isolated and lonely and we work longer than ever, you know, we all have these responsibilities. I think we are all craving connection. So we spend a lot of time on our phones online. I don't think that's always a good thing. Obviously, there's huge mental health tolls from spending too much time online.
Screen fatigue.
Yes.
That's real.
Yeah, because I mean, just like physically, sometimes like I get a headache from like looking at my phone too much, and also just like harassment, you know. And I think you can like kind of lose touch with reality if your whole world is just the internet. That said, I think that the internet is sort of increasingly becoming our default reality, and you know, like things that happen online like will reach a wider amount of people than anything in person. And sometimes it feels like the sort of the offline world is almost just a stage for the internet. And
yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
so true. Like it could be quoted like properly offline. Where
yeah.
Stage for the internet.
So you know, some of that stuff worries me. I definitely encourage people to get off their phones, even though I am on my phone way too much myself.
So you encourage digital detox every now and then?
Every now and then.
Every now and then.
Every now and then. Maybe in 5 years, 6 years.
It's impossible. We can't. It's just like every 20 minutes, you're like, what's my WhatsApp saying? Okay, before you leave us, we want to play a quick game. It's called Hot or Not with Taylor Lorenz, the Internet Edition.
Let's go.
So we're going to use the buzzer. If it's hot, tell us why, and if it's not, give us the buzzer.
Okay. Wait, so not hot buzz.
Not hot buzz.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to start with NFTs.
They're over. I'm so sick of them. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. We did it. And I have so many NFTs from like 2021 that people sent me or I bought for like $5 because they were like, this is it. It's going to the moon. No.
Are they worth anything right now?
No, my NFTs, no. I think one is worth $200 and I can't even figure out how to sell it. I need to sell it immediately, yeah.
Can't figure out how. Be real.
I'm gonna do not. I think only because I think it's a little bit past the point. I don't know how it is here in Dubai, but in the US, especially in LA, like I think people are a little bit tired of it. I feel like it really popped off and then it kind of like, we're like, okay.
It had its moment.
It had its moment.
Yeah.
Agree.
Okay, live streaming.
Okay, I'm gonna say hot. I mean, as I said, I've like gotten obsessed with live. I don't think anybody's like truly cracked live streaming, like where it's not like a mainstream format yet that we all sort of use. But I think I'm
Is that where the
in it.
money's at, live streaming?
No, I mean for certain people, but I don't think it depends. It depends. You can make a lot of money on TikTok Live if you're streaming the right thing, but.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not. Everyone's obsessed with it.
For journalism, do you see the negatives?
Yeah, I don't think you can get AI to write articles that are coherent. I mean, I did try to get ChatGPT to do the endnotes for my book, to put everything in like, you know, the style, and it started making up authors for the pages that didn't have authors. And so I don't trust the AI yet, but it's fun. I do ChatGPT trivia, where I just have it spurt out some trivia questions and answers, and it's fun. So.
Well, that's fun.
It's a fun use for it, yeah.
Okay, TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, TikTok's still hot. They're taking over. It's like the primary social platform, I think, right now.
That's what they're seeing in predictions of like 2024. Like TikTok's just gonna overtake every single platform.
It is. I mean, it's already overtaken Instagram in terms of time spent. Obviously, it's coming for YouTube with the longer videos. So yeah, TikTok's
How do you suggest someone changes the algorithm on TikTok? I'm asking for a friend.
You have to. Well, I mean, you have to like manually like and download things that you want to see more of, or save. Like you have to really like manually express interest in things.
I think what Simran means is how does she get her video to the top of other people's
No. It was actually that, because all I see is like makeup tutorials and dance videos. I'm like, I don't dance. I don't put on makeup like that. Why is this the only thing I'm
sorry.
seeing?
If you're not interested too, I don't know if that really does anything, but like and download the things that you do want to see, and it should give you more.
Threads.
Okay, I'm a Threads defender.
I think Threads are great.
Okay, good. I was looking. I had to travel around the world to find another Threads, Team Threads. What I don't love about Threads is they ban dozens of words from search. You can't even search a lot of common phrases because they think that they are tied to misinformation. That makes me a little nervous. I don't love that level of censorship from the platform level. However, I think it's fun. I love it. Yes, there's a lot of brands on there. Yes, it's corny, but Twitter is such a hellhole that I think Threads has been fun.
It's a separate place. I still think it needs its moment. I still think it hasn't had it had the beginning, and then more people need to kind of really actually embrace it.
Yeah, we need more weirdos. We need more funny people to do stuff. It doesn't have the rawness of Twitter, but
Yeah. I feel like without the
troll
hashtags,
here and there.
yeah.
there are no hashtags. It's difficult to search on Threads, is it not?
It's still.
Yeah, search is a problem, and again, they're blocking all these words from search. So I think they have a long way to go, but I'm rooting for them.
We have time for two more.
Okay.
Mark Zuckerberg's vision for the metaverse.
No. No. First of all, he wanted everyone. The metaverse, we live in the metaverse. I don't even know what he's talking about with the metaverse. It's they're just talking about VR, and they've tried to make VR happen a million times.
Yes!
I remember the last VR pivot. Also, his version for VR is everyone is going to be in meetings all day. Everyone is in conference calls. That's the last thing I want to do in VR. So
Yeah. It's
big no, Mark.
Literally a glorified virtual reality.
yeah,
That's what we've been saying since day one, and no one's been hearing us.
I hear you, and it's not happening.
Okay, Mark Zuckerberg versus Elon Musk cage fight.
I want that to happen because I will be front row. And I hate to say it, but I would cheer for Mark Zuckerberg in that instance. And I think Mark Zuckerberg would win. I think that's why Elon chickened out and won't do it.
Is it actually a thing?
It was a thing. It's a thing that Mark has been training for, and Elon absolutely did not train for a minute. I just it's so absurd that I think if that happened, I would actually start to question if we lived in a simulation because it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Well, the internet is a weird place, so thank you for trying to describe it to the world in a more readable format. Taylor Renz, you've been an absolute legend. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Guys, that was Taylor Renz on the Lovin Dubai show. We're back with you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from the Matrix.